All right, everybody. Welcome to another live New York session. And this is Paul McMillan II. And it is August 15th, 2022. So let's go ahead and check the news here. And as we can see, we had a little bit of just small impact news at 8:30. We're past 8:30 because it's 9 o'clock. So we're pretty much in the clear with that. So we're going to look at gold. So what we're going to do is mark up from the 15-minute time frame to the 4-hour time frame. So what I'm going to do is basically pause this recording, go all the way back in price and see what price did in the future as far as market structure goes, and then we'll get started. All right, so we're going to start marking up institutional market structure. So we can see a good structure here. Let me find my horizontal line. Price respected this structure, went all the way up. And you can see that this is the next structure that price supported, which made price go all the way up to the next structure. Let me actually turn this on. There we go. So price went all the way up and respected this structure, which made it go all the way up to here. The next structure that I can see price really resisting is up to this point, because you can see that price is resisting these areas a lot, and sellers are forcing price to go back down to this structure, this previous structure. Whereas when price finally broke up here, it respected this structure and went up to this next structure, and then respected it and finally went up again. Then when you go from this structure here, you see that price respected structure up in here, which made price go all the way down to this structure and then all the way down here till finally broke. So these are good areas. Now, when we look from here, price rejected this and went up and respected structure here. And that's why you see price faked out here and respected this structure and went all the way up. And then price came up, respected this structure. And that's why you see price respected this structure right here as well. And then you see that price respected this structure up here ultimately. So now we're going to draw zones on these areas, and then we're going to move on to the 30-minute time frame and rinse and repeat. Okay. So this is going to be yellow. So we're just marking up these key areas where there is rejection, whether it's on resistance or support. Okay. Because these are the areas that we want to look for when it comes to a possible entry. That's what we want. So yeah, this is a good one. Price rejected this and went up to here. All right. Now we're going to move on to the 30-minute time frame. And we're going to do the same exact thing. So we're going to go where we left off. All right, so this is where we left off here. We're not going to worry about up here. We'll go ahead and start down here. So now we're going to further analyze what price did. So let me zoom in. So we see that price rejected this zone, broke this structure, and went all the way down. So we can see that price respected this area. So price respected this area as support, but then also as resistance when it finally broke and went down to the next structure, and then broke it and went up again, and then respected this, went up again, and then finally broken and respected as resistance. So this is a good area. So let me change this to green. All right. Then we see that there's another key structure. I would say here. because when you look at when price broke this structure, hit it as resistance and then resistance again, and then finally came down and respected this area and then hit resistance again and again, and then finally went down and broke the structure. So that's a good level. So now we see that price finally broke this last level, went down to this level here. Because price hit, wicked out, respected this, and then broke it and went down to this next structure. But then eventually came back on this next structure that it broke before, retested it and retested this area, retested this area and this area, and then went up and went on this next structure once again. So these are good areas. So now what we're going to do is draw zones on these areas. And so now we'll move on to the 1 hour, and we're going to repeat the process. So now we're going to examine this. So now price finally broke this last structure that we drew, and it respected this area here. So this is a good area. We'll put that there. We'll make this red. Then when we break this structure, we see that price next supported this area here. So I'm looking at this. Hit that, supported here, kept on hitting this area, supported till finally kind of broke, went down to this next area down here, then went up and supported, then went down to this next area. So this is another good zone here. And then ultimately price went at its lowest down here. All right, so these are good areas. So now we're going to draw our zones in these areas. We're going to make it red. All right. Now we're going to move to the 4 hour. Going to rinse and repeat one more time, and then figure out the overall trend. So, all right, so here's the structure here. Okay, so this is the 4 hours, so we marked up everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take this out. All right. So now what we see here is when we look at current price, price was going downtrend, reversed and started going to an uptrend. Pretty much broke structure. We tested this structure, broke this structure, went up to the next floor, broke this structure, and then continued to go up. Now, price hasn't broken this structure yet, so we haven't hit bearish yet. Okay. So what I see is with current price, there was a huge imbalance here. Okay. So they're going to have to fill at least 50% of this, or maybe even all of it. So it's possible that what I see is that price is going to fill half of this and then probably maybe drop down, possibly. So price hasn't broke this structure yet, but I would say that at this point, price is overall bullish because price hasn't broken a new structure yet. When we even look here, well, price did kind of break this structure here. So price is probably at this point starting to go bearish. So let's just do that. And I say possibly bearish because price could come up and fill this area and then come back down. So we want to move to the 1 hour and see if we're correct. And yeah, we were correct because price went bearish here. And it looked like that it already filled half of this area already. And so it looks like it might be ready to go down to here. So price is overall bearish at this point. And we could see that because price tested this zone multiple times, came up. See how it hit up to here? Came up and went down. So we're going to erase this. Say that price is bearish. So now we're going to look at the 30-minute. And we can kind of see that. And then we're going to go to the 15-minute. So now once we get to the 15-minute, now we're going to want to look at the overall structure once again. So we can see that price is overall bearish. So at this point, when I turn this on, I'm looking for key areas where price is rejecting. When I look to the left here, I can see that the wick rejection here, price really rejected this key level here. Why is that? Because when the banks made this sell here, it created a lot of imbalance that they had to fill and make back. What did they do? They came back and mitigated up to this area here. And then they started selling down to here. So what that lets me know is that since price already then came down to here, they filled half of this area already. That's where this wick is at. So it's a possibility that price might come up and fill half of this area and then sell down again. Because now they got to fill half of this area here. But I see this actually going bearish a little bit more. Now there's a wick rejection here, so it's probably going to pull back maybe up to this area to maybe fill half of this area. But I'm thinking that it's probably going to eventually sell down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for the 9:15 candle to close. That's going to happen in about a minute here. And then we're going to see where price is at and then make our decision. We do see a demand zone here. And we see some rejection there. So they could fill half of this candle, this imbalanced candle here, and then boom. So let me pause this recording and see what the next candle does, and then we're going to execute our trade and see what happens. Be right back. Okay, so now we're at the 9:15 candle. So I'm looking for, I see that this is the most recent resistance here. So I'm looking for a price to maybe come back up to this area, reject, and then sell. So what I'm going to do is put my risk to reward tool in place. So I'm probably going to put it here. And then I'm going to shoot for $250 points. And then this will be the second take profit here. And so now TP1, this is 250 plus points. And this is going to be 507 points. Now, I want to point something out. Let's see, 500 plus points. Now, what price could ultimately do is reject this area and then start to sell. So that's probably what I'm going to be looking for at this point, because there's a resistance here. So I want to see what it's going to do on this resistance. Is it going to retest it and go down, or is it going to break above and then push up? And if it pushes up, then we'll just adjust. We'll adjust. But that's what I'm going to be looking for. So so that's what I'm going to wait for. I see is wick rejecting there, so we'll see. Really, in reality, that's what I'm going to aim for. Down here, change that to 600 plus. Yeah, let's do that. Right. So I'll do that. So now what I'm going to do is, now price ends up selling early, then I'm just going to just go for this take profit here. But what I'm going to do is just set my alerts, and then we're just going to see what price does at the 9:30 bell. Be right back. Like price is already trying to sell, but I'm going to wait for the next candle. So the price could retrace back and respect this area, then wait for it to go down. That'd be a good entry. See how it's kind of retracing up. So I'm not going to execute yet. I'm going to wait for the next candle. But I'll go ahead and put in my stop loss and take profit just to paste it in. So that way, at least I'll be prepared. Let me see here. $1787.42, and then take profit is going to be 35.64. All right, so I got my stop loss and all that in. Now, here's the thing. Price could close up and go up and retest this area as well. So if it does, I'm just going to adjust this entry up so I know where my entry is at. So that way I can prepare. So if it sells down to here, then I'll get a better entry. So that's my backup plan. So what I'm going to do is pause this recording. But that's probably what's going to happen, but we'll see. And then we'll see what the 9:30 bell does. So we'll see. Be right back. It's also possible that it could go up and test this zone again as well. It's very possible. And if it does, I can understand why, because there's a lot of imbalance here they have to fill too. That's at least half of it. So it might come up and test this zone and then go down. And if so, I'll just adjust. But I really believe that price is overall bearish. So we'll see. All right, so we got about over 10 seconds until the 9:30 bell closes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this candle looks like it's probably retesting and closing above. Might be selling. rejecting this area. Mhm. So I wouldn't be surprised if it buys up to here or to up in this area and then starts to sell down. So once price really starts to move that direction, I'll resume this recording. So be right back. All right, looks like price is selling. So I'm gonna give it a shot and we'll see how this plays out. We'll see. So what I'm going to do is just wait to get in profit, and then I'll resume this recording. So be right back. Okay, I just profited $100 and it's still dropping. So I'm going to wait for this second partial trade to keep on running. Once it runs, I'm gonna trail this stop loss. Yep, it's dropping. So I'm about to trail this stop loss. Let me modify 1770, 1779.22. Okay, trail my stop loss. So now let's see if price drops even further down. So I'm gonna pause this recording. All right, so as we can see, price really did drop like we thought it was going to drop. I believe we entered in here a little bit. So if we had did it all the way down to here, that would have been 297 points. We would have made well over $250, definitely. So that's good. That is real good. And if we had really even got in here, it would have been 359 points. So our bias was good. Price really wanted to come down and really fill this area, and it sold. Price might be rejecting this area and possibly going down further, maybe. Yeah, I think it's selling even more. Let me pause this recording and see if it sells more, and then we'll wrap it up. So when we really look at this structure here, price broke this previous structure, this wick structure. So it's probably going to go up and fill half of this area, or maybe even all of it. So it's probably going to go bullish again. So, but that's fine because we predicted that price was going to sell, and it did, and it gave us a good amount of points. So, yeah. So we would have definitely made our money, but we still made money. So that's good. So that's pretty much it for this session. We did very well. This one. I'm planning on doing a back testing session on how this went as well. So what I'm going to do is wrap up this session, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. All right, what's going on there, everybody? I had to do another recording because I forgot to share my phone screen and show you guys the results. Price ended up hitting my second take profit. So our analysis was correct. We got in here, price went all the way down, pulled back, came down here, pulled back a little bit, and then pushed down and hit the second take profit before reversing and going up. And it looks like it's kind of testing this area as well. So let me share my phone screen real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. So that way you can see the results I got. All right, so as you can see, $87 the first partial trade, and then $4. And that's because I got maybe about less than 200 points. If I held that trade and kept on going, I would have definitely made $250+. But we still did good because we were correct on our analysis. So yeah, so we did good here. Price ended up rejecting that key area and went down. So that's it for this recording. See you guys next time.